goals and has looked very reliable in that sort of situation.
Test. Hello guys, selamat datang live untuk replay dah selamat pagi. So hari ni kita akan live game. Bukan live game lah, kita akan ni lah ngobar apa ni, World Cup Portugal dan Spain guys.
Pass by Vitinha, just forcing João Felix a bit wider than he might have been. Back in the team, having been left out for the Croatia game. It's a smart pass. It's gone out for a corner.
Yeah, clever ball that. Outside of his boot, João Felix. You'll probably see that a lot from him, where he'll sort of stop in front of Pedro Porro. He's not a flying machine in that area, João Felix, but very, very talented and has great awareness of a teammate running into a good position.
Bruno Fernandes lining up the corner. Taylor is well used to dealing with pushing and shoving in the way the Premier League is laid out at set pieces these days. Ronaldo trying to get free, he's being tugged back actually. And it was Pedro Neto who had a swing at that.
Yeah, it was Rodri that was marking Cristiano Ronaldo, and they tried to work a little block.
Here is Rodri. Renato Vega. Vitinha, who will read any interviews that he's given, he'll tell you how massive doubts he had that he would ever make it as a top player. What a player he has become. Paris Saint-Germain, Portugal. No great faith, but Luis Enrique, they were together. He really got the self-confidence into a player who now plays as though he believes he runs the world.
Yeah, and he's been outstanding for his club, PSG. He's been at the heart of their success over the last couple of seasons.
Of course, Luis Enrique was the coach of Spain at the last World Cup and didn't do very well, he's admitted that. He lost to Morocco.
Watch this here, this is that little block, Martin. Watch, he tries to run, see that? They just clatter in to João Neves deliberately, so as Ronaldo can just try and be a bit elusive as far as Rodri is concerned, but they kind of grabbed hold of him a little bit, but as ever, got away with it. There's a lot of that goes on in the modern game, an awful lot.
Here is Ronaldo. He lets the goalkeeper from a tight angle.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to beat Unai Simon from that sort of angle. I wondered if he could have hit this first time. Could have done. He decided to have the touch and then do the little step over, but it just might have made the shot in the end that little bit harder to execute. However, first job was done there. Hit the target, make the goalkeeper save it.
Portugal looking to be the first team to score against Spain here in USA 2026. And that blocking will continue as Nuno Mendes lines up the corner, drills it a bit flat. Zaval gets to it. The smaller of the two nations in terms of population and space are trying to be the bigger here on a football field. Dani Olmo.
Yeah, and I think, Martin, these two teams, because they've got so many talented players that know each other, I think they're going to have these little spells, both teams, where they feel like they're getting on top and then very quickly it can change.
Here's Pedri. Minimal coming inside and leaving actually space for Pedro Porro down the right-hand side, but run in the opposite direction to Cucurella. He's just left his English club Chelsea for Real Madrid. Coming back home. It's lost the ball in a rather dangerous area. Danny Olmo takes it on. It's a little bit of the urgency. Alex Spian, who's had a good tournament, really stepped up, got himself a starting berth. Out by Pedro Porro. Cucurella. Maybe thought the goalkeeper was coming.
I think he did, just for a split second. He thought the goalie was going to come and sort that himself. He just quickly had to make sure that he tidied it up.
Rodri. Pedri. Actually, another of these players who started international football at a ridiculously young age, held back a bit with injuries. Pedro Porro. 41 previous games, only 6 Portugal wins. In the World Cup, 1 Spain win, and that 3-3 draw in which Ronaldo got a fabulous hat-trick. It was in Sochi, the World Cup stage in Russia. Nuno Mendes is off and running. Ball from Bruno Fernandes, and Nuno Mendes still goes. Yeah, but it just goes over the defender. To plot the trajectory is very difficult, but it was a bold run, typical of the man. And here comes Lamine Yamal, typical of him. Oh, that's a tremendous save.
What a brilliant passage of football
Diogo
that was.
Costa.
Both sets, both teams. Nuno Mendes so close, and then that's exactly what I mean, Martin, about when he attacks Nuno Mendes, somebody has got to be there to cover. Lamine Yamal had the first strike, and then that one is brilliantly saved from Diogo Costa. Really good stuff.
That was Alex Spian. Trying to curl it back in. Oh, we have to work both sides of his body to keep it at 0-0. To take the corner. Drops out to Lamine Yamal. Ooh, cleverly dinks it to Cucurella. What a goal that would have been. Push and cross. Still might be on for Spain here. Yamal with a cross again.
Great defensive header, Ruben Diaz, making sure he nods that one away. Some teasing crosses delivered there by Lamine Yamal. Some really good stuff. That's a really good passage of play.
See Pepe in the back line there.
Deco back left.
Yeah, Deco now with Barcelona, of course.
Yes.
Running repairs for Nuno Mendes. You must have played against Deco, did you?
I'm not sure, Martin. Not sure if I did.
You're part of the
Might
pitch.
have done, yeah. Paulo Sousa and the Rui Costa era. Luis Figo was mine. Might have been just after those boys.
Cucurella. Both sides so far have had moments. Ryan again. It's well measured. It gave Cucurella a real chance of getting it. Pedro Neto and Cucurella, of course, club mates until the end of last month.
Correct. So just a few weeks ago, you're right.
Went together on that far side, but not in that particular instant. There is Emmett Smith, really a legend of the NFL, and particularly in this part of the world. Generally, they've made such a wonderful job of converting these NFL grounds to the world game. The work that's gone on here, the NFL pitch that we've mentioned before, if you haven't heard it, is 4 feet beneath the grass. When you look at those blue lines across the far side, they're actually protecting executive boxes. There's glass behind those at pitch level above the advertising. That's where they couldn't get it all in because the NFL pitch is so much narrower than a football pitch. A lot of work that goes unnoticed to get these kind of special occasions up and running. Nuno Mendes.
Neat and tidy, as you would expect, both teams, when they've got the ball, when they've got good possession.
There's Pedro Neto, left-footed, but often prefers to play on the right. No flag. And now the flag does go up. Cut back for João Cancelo from an offside position.
Yeah.
Pedri. Ooh, there's a run from Baena that he thought he'd be in. Pedri had seen him. It's Dani Olmo to leave Spain to make his career. Eventually, Barcelona, who let him go at 17, paid a lot of money to get him back. Olmo again. With Rodri. Pedro Porro made a run in behind Nuno Mendes and João Felix, who are trying to police that near side as we look. Spotted by referee Taylor. Baena beginning to feel he's being put upon here by João Cancelo.
He's actually given that, Martin. I think he might have done. I thought for a moment Alex Baena was being told to get back up on his feet, but actually
it happened before the ball was played. I think that's why the delay was. But he's got his decision. Atletico Madrid man. Zonal marking from Portugal. Port is in there. Ibasi, the centre-back, who's not the tallest defender in the world. Let's get close to either of them. That was an interesting hit from Pedro Porro. And we're edging towards the hydration break. Andy, what have you made of the... it's a bit more than sparring, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, no, yeah, look, I think both teams have shown decent intent. The best chance so far has fallen to Spain with Oyarzabal, who failed to hit the target, went totally in the clear. I think he'll regret that one. But Portugal have had their moments too. I think it's one of those games, Martin, when both teams have good possession. You can see nobody wants to dive in and make a challenge and put themselves out of the game. I think that's really crucial today. that you keep your shape and that you stay compact. The minute someone steps out of that and tries to do something on their own, you can get picked off very quickly with some one-touch play, and you can find yourself a goal behind.
So who we playing?
Local crew. They're legit. They play win or go home. This crew hasn't gone home in 30 years.
Who's up next?
The times changed, the results didn't.
For real?
I know. Hard to believe, right?
Who's up next?
From Lamine Yamal here, and the follow-up from Alex Bayona.
Yeah, that's a pretty comfortable stop. It's a nice strike from Lamine Yamal.
It's a bit more
That is a different proposition. That's a really good leap to his left, and then goes with that right arm on top to get his fingers on it. Very clever. Again, Bruno Fernandes perhaps a little quiet, Martin, in the opening exchanges.
He played a pass for Ronaldo. Ronaldo had a good shot, but he played the pass without considering his own options, which he perhaps would do in slightly different circumstances.
Yes, I think like to see him maybe trying to get him into a few more positions to get his shots away, because he is so crucial to this team. But look, early stages of a really close matchup, so no surprise in that we've seen glimpses from both teams, but neither really able to grab this game yet.
I've known Roberto Martinez a long time, and he did tell me yesterday when we caught up with each other that he really likes, and you can see how animated he is, he really likes the breaks. It's for coaches, the only, I think the question mark he put on it was 3 minutes, a bit too long, but he's going the distance here, isn't he?
Well, it does give them the opportunity sometimes when managers and coaches find it difficult to get a message across to players. Well, you can do that.
He obviously saw the Portuguese coach something that he felt he could put right with that kind of discussion. That what Spain have done, perhaps, in having to rely on his goalkeeper more times than he would have wanted to. Ruben Diaz. That's a great contest between those two.
Did well there, Cucurella, because Neto was after that, wasn't he? He's very quick, Pedro Neto. He gives them far more direct pace over on that side, but Cucurella is one of those defenders. He'll match anybody up and give as good as he gets.
Yeah, what Pedro Neto does, he speeds the game up, doesn't he? When he gets the ball, he's off.
He does. Yeah. Yep. He wants it in front of him. That's when he's at his best.
That was, as you were saying, Andy, a straightforward piece of running between the two players, and I can imagine Pedro Neto probably thinks that's his best way of getting the better of Cucurella. He's pretty rapid. The bushy-haired left back. A lot of the games recently between these two have been drawn. 6 of the last 7 in regulation time. Lifted away by Pedro Porro. Knocked forward by Ruben Diaz, who had to really exert himself to get a bit of power on the header. Now Vitinha. João Cancelo. Ronaldo dropping deep to influence proceedings. Bit of possession here. Maybe that's the sort of thing that Roberto Martinez was emphasising. Look,
Patience.
yeah, a bit more patience. Yeah.
Just keep it, yeah. Wait for that right moment to be decisive with a forward pass. You have to to go backwards, don't be afraid to. Lots of teams nowadays, we see, Martin, recycling the ball, going backwards, even go back as far as the goalkeeper at times.
Spain might be able to break here. Dani Olmo for Lamine Yamal, or not quite for Lamine Yamal. There was a gap to try and find.
Do you know, Nuno Mendes didn't really know where Lamine Yamal was there. Arta Vega does really well to slide in and just intercept. Had there been a little more pace on that ball
He was
from
in.
Dani Olmo, he would have been in and away. Yep.
Vega into Pedro Neto territory. Taylor deciding in Cucurella's favour. Handball. Here's Kubasi. Now Dani Olmo. Pedro Porro could go down the outside here, and he does it, steaming forward. That's his game. So one way to deal with Nuno Mendes is make him defend.
Yes. Great run, Pedro Porro there, really good. He actually does very well, Nuno Mendes, to recover, slide in and knock that one away. Another corner for Spain.
It's their turn to involve in the blocking. It's worked. Shaw back to Pedro Porro, to the other fullback, Cucurella. Well, by Pedri, the goalkeeper saved Dani Olmo with the header. There was improvisation by Diogo Costa. There's an offside flag in the end. I'm not quite sure which bit of play he flagged for.
I think it is Dani Olmo just there. Look. Pau Kubasi is who tries to get on the end of that, which made life very difficult there for Diogo Costa, having to go with his foot, and he cushioned it right back into the path of Olmo, who couldn't get any real power on it, but would have been flagged anyway.
Now on Ronaldo. Aymeric Laporte. Born in France, of course, naturalised on the residence qualification for Spain. Been quite a talking point, where their countries of birth have been for the players who are not representing their countries of birth, and how international football's had to adapt to that with the globalisation of the population. A fair bit of tenacity from Bruno Fernandes, but he showed it.
That's a bit of a shank from Laporte there. Got away with it.
It's a remarkable record for Unai Simon. 519 minutes before this game started, without conceding a goal. He's never been really regarded as an absolute top-class keeper. And yet, De La Fuentes, who obviously had him young in the underage teams, he's been an absolute standout. Vega. I think they've got David Raya, who's just won the Premier League with Arsenal and the
I think that they've got great competition, Martin, haven't they? Would you say Unai Simon? Not always in everyone's top 10 of world goalkeepers, but does a great job for his team.
Oyarzabal will still be ruining that missed chance, but with all good strikers, we'll forget about it in the end and think about the next one. Here's Yamal again for Dani Olmo, has made a terrific run. really caught Portugal out with his movement there.
Great play, brilliant work. He's very elusive, Dani Olmo. 1 minute he's running in behind Portugal's back line, then he's playing in the pocket in the number 10 position. Then he drops even deeper in front of Portugal's midfield, but no one's ever quite sure where he is.
Cucurella. And Baena working that left-hand side, away by Renato Vega. Portugal have to retreat again. Rodri. Now Pedro Porro. Lamine Yamal. Working with Pedri. Not really a gap for him to go through. And he tackled back. It looked fairly enough, but maybe not from Anthony Taylor's angle.
Yeah, Nuno Mendes got a foot in, so Lamine Yamal doing the right thing, wanting to pinch it back. Not a lot wrong with that, to be honest with you.
Now Cancelo, and him back to Diogo Costa.
Pressure again, Spain all round.
Just a little extra sharpness you feel, don't you, Andy, about Spain? Or
yeah,
maybe you see it differently?
No, look, there's not a lot in the game, Martin, but Spain are so tidy in possession. They're very, very good. Look, Portugal, certainly also very capable, but the Spanish team, there is a nice rhythm to what they do when they keep in possession.
The goalkeeper's ball. Talk about players from other countries. He was born in Switzerland. Diogo Costa. Obviously to a Portuguese family. To Ronaldo qualification. Ruben Diaz. Cucurella really took a chance there. Anything over the top of him, and Pedro Neto would have been sprinting away behind him.
Got better options, Spain, I think, Martin, when they're looking forward at the moment. Whether it be fullbacks getting in advanced positions, as Pedro Porro is here to the right of Kubasi, or people like Dani Olmo starting to become a little more influential. Bit of space.
João Neves struggling to find a way out. And Cancelo too, that could have been intercepted by Olmo. Cristiano Ronaldo. João Felix. Taken on by Vitinha. Advantage played by referee Taylor. João Neves. Cancelo. Bruno Fernandes.
Let's go, Portugal.
Cristiano Ronaldo is very good in the air still.
Uish! Goal! Ya Allah, sikit lagi nak masuk.
Ronaldo to try and just knock it over his shoulder
sayangnya
into
Ronaldo.
João Felix paid a price for his bravery getting to the ball, crashed into the hoardings. Look at Ronaldo now.
Yep. Unai Simon there came for the initial cross and was floundering a little bit. He did well to get a fingertip on that. João Felix nod back to Ronaldo and then make that stop. Ronaldo couldn't really get any power on it. Back to goal and facing the wrong way, but nice play from Portugal. Good work, João Felix at the back post. Didn't give it up. Kept believing he could keep it in, and that was almost a very useful situation for Portugal. But the goalie there stepped off his line to come and get it. If he does that, he's got to make sure he grabs it. Unfortunately, he wasn't quite aware of where he was.
Portugal's first attempt since the 12th minute. It was a very... you can get 40, 50, 60-year-olds, but you've still got pictures in your head like Cristiano Ronaldo had then, to see that the goal was... there was a chance of diverting the ball into the goal.
I mean, he'll always have that about him, Martin. Even when the legs perhaps aren't quite as powerful as they once were, his awareness. Watch, decent ball in from Pedro Neto. Goalie a little bit all over the place, but does well to get back up and recover.
Pedro Neto is at the centre of an Anthony Taylor judgment that he's not quite in tune with. Will be dropped in Spain's direction.
It's a lot easier to get them boots on nowadays, Martin, isn't it? Hey, look. Just literally
like those,
slide your foot in.
Those slip-in trainers.
That's it, they are.
They're designed for people your age. The boots are designed for Pedro Neto. And well, I've got 3 or 4 pairs here, so not football boots. Here is Felix in the centre of attention again. Pedro Porro is going to get a talking to.
Yeah, he's giving it as much chance as he possibly can, Anthony Taylor here. That's a little bit niggly from Pedro Porro. Fullback wanting to let a winger know exactly that he's there, but I don't think there'll be too many more before Anthony Taylor starts clamping down on a few of those. What a switch that is.
And what an anticipation by João Cancelo to realise that he set off and dictated the pass. Actually, he was on his bike. And this has been given as a corner. It might be one of those that will be checked.
Great run from João Cancelo. Portugal fullbacks, they can do that in first minutes to last, charge up and down, not a problem for them.
And on the boots, now to Pedro Neto's liking. There's a congested goal area. Unai Simon will need to have a clear view of this, particularly if it's whipped in with pace.
I presume that chunk out the back of his boot is deliberate, Martin.
Yeah. We could go on all day about what the modern player does. I think there's an advantage to be gained. Scoring a goal is the best way to get an advantage. Off the bar. Nuno Mendes. Deflection along the way.
As soon as I saw the deflection, I thought it was in. Just a little bit too much room there for Nuno Mendes, who is not afraid to let fly from that sort of distance. Watch this, he hits this nice and hard, he really does. And it's Pedro Porro. You're always tempted to put something on it if you can, but it can often fly past your own goalkeeper.
It's disappearing from sight. Nuno Mendes will get purchase on the long throw, but Taylor has seen something which I think means the throw will be retaken.
Yeah, smart Cucurella went down, but I think Anthony Taylor had just seen them getting involved a little bit at the near post, so he's ordered the throw-in to be retaken.
And it's not a long throw on the retake. It's a cross, not the best one from Nuno Mendes. João Felix trying to win it back. And Lamine Yamal's away. Oyarzabal's up with him.
Great feet.
He's still sitting on the ground expecting to get the free kick. But Spain did have the ball, not quite in the most advantageous situation, but they've worked it back again. And is that a double trip? No.
And it's really good defensive work from João Felix. Watch him look, stride for stride, get him back and just get an all-important foot in.
Not much margin for error there.
No, you haven't got long either, Martin. If you do receive that ball 40 yards from the opposition goal, it won't be long before someone is trying to pinch it off you. Got to make that decision pretty quickly. What are you going to do with it?
Vega, Vitinha, João Felix actually emerged the last 10 minutes or so as quite a significant figure in the match, trying to push Portugal onwards, but doing his share in the opposite direction. And as Bruno Fernandes has got some space here, Ronaldo, maybe if he'd been a little bit more central, or the pass had taken him a bit more central, he might have shot from that range.
Yeah, that's his first thought all the time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, can he get a yard and get his shot away? Couldn't there, he was a long way out.
There's Pedro Neto, Coutinho. A number of these players were playing in the States last year with their club sides. Pedro Neto had a great tournament in the Club World Cup. He scored 3 goals. Chelsea won it. Nuno Mendes. Lamine Yamal, who I'm sure has been briefed about what he's going to do. But he'd rather be doing what he nearly accomplished a couple of minutes ago. That should be the goalkeeper's ball. And it is competent from Unai Simon.
Yeah, nice work, neat and tidy, nice and clean with the catch. Ronaldo just hovering a little bit in behind Unai Simon, but good work.
Pedro Porro. Spain threatening, but Portugal not without a sign or two of a punch of their own. Here's Baena, Bucarea. Laporte takes over. Oh, Danny almost found space again and found Oyarzabal. Couldn't quite switch it. And then a hit and hope really from Rodri.
Yeah.
6 added minutes before half-time.
Yeah, there's a fan on the receiving end of that one from Rodri. I think you can see Dani Olmo on the right side of the screen there saying, let's keep the ball. Always tempting, Martin, midfield players when you're in that shooting range. And then it's afterwards you either, or you often regret that perhaps you didn't just go wide and keep the pressure on. Just relieves all the pressure when you blast it over the bar.
I saw you blast plenty into the opponent's net, by the way.
I can tell you there was a good few that went over the top as well.
I did see some of those too. João Neves. And Ronaldo makes the run. Darting out in time was Unai Simon. And Spain trying to act quickly from the goalkeeper's distribution, but Portugal get back very quickly. Alex Baena. Pedro Porro, play it inside Nuno Mendes for Lamine Yamal. He did just that, but it was offside, it wouldn't have counted.
Good movement from him though. And I think he's got to mix it up with against Nuno Mendes. Look, decides to just dart in behind. Once you make that decision, you can't wait. I don't think Pedro Porro did a lot wrong there. He's just always a little too early and going to be offside, but that's better from him. He can have it to feet, but also skip in behind occasionally.
Spain, you sense, really looking to up it before the break here. They've got a free kick. Not a great angle for the challenge.
No. It's a long way out, this one, Martin, an awful long way out. I mean, we have seen them over the years. Previous World Cups, we've seen them fly in from this sort of range, but that's a long
By the way,
way.
that's a nice banner, isn't it? The legend versus the future, Ronaldo versus Lamine. Yes, but it is a ball that stays hit. We've emphasised that plenty of times. We've seen some wonderful goals struck from outside the penalty area. And plenty of headers as well. Might be more the latter route to an opening goal here. Well, that was actually on target, but maybe there was an offside on the initial knockback.
Well, the game's gone pretty much according to plan, hasn't it? It's very tight. It really is. The first goal in this one is going to be huge for whichever team is able to find it, but they both had their moments.
I think it could have been tighter, couldn't it? I mean,
yeah.
I was telling Andy before the game, a very good friend in Portuguese football said, be prepared for a long game, hinting that there would be a lot of caution involved. But there's been sensible defensive play, but there's been creativity hasn't been off the menu. Angled on by Nuno Mendes. João Neves is another of the Paris Saint-Germain players involved in this game. Now Felix has a nice idea just to reverse it back. It's put too much on it. Doing that, fetching and carrying and passing the responsibility and the ball to others. Like Oyarzabal, Correa. Oyarzabal again. Spain going nowhere on that passage of play.
Yeah, he's getting too deep there, Oyarzabal. Getting involved in areas where he doesn't really want to be doing that.
He's really a late developer. They played him through the middle of his club and now for his country, and running through the middle here at the other end is João Felix, who's never really settled in one club. Oyarzabal's only played for one club, Real Sociedad, whereas as Pedro Porro goes careering across. João Felix has been around the block a few times.
Oh, he has.
He?
Yes, he has.
Not
You're right.
settled.
Never really stuck it out for a significant period of time anywhere. But he's talented. He's a very talented boy, and he can play in a number of positions. He can play as a 10. He's playing off one side. It's not ideal for him today, but both teams, Martin, have got some good players on the bench, you know, who can have a big effect in this game too. It might come to that. It might well come to whichever manager is brave enough to make those changes first. That could be the difference.
Well, at half-time, there has been certainly efforts. Nuno Mendes' shot deflecting onto the crossbar, the closest we've seen. Diogo Costa's had to make some saves, probably more saves than his opposite number. But one or two of them have been routine. And we reach the break in Dallas. Portugal 0, Spain 0. Well, he had one shot and then that little flick at goal, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes, he did. Again, we haven't seen a tremendous amount of what we would class as outstanding chances. The one for Spain to Oyarzabal, who should have really done better with his one, but there's nothing much in this game, Martin, at all. There really isn't. And it's going to take, I think, a quality goal or a mistake, perhaps a rare mistake from a team defensively to get punished. But we've seen bits from him, from Lamine Yamal. He's up against a tough competitor today, Nuno Mendes, the Portuguese left-back. The goalkeeper, Unai Simon, has had to come and put his hands on a few and done it nicely.
And he's still got his record going, extending, hasn't he? Another
yes, indeed.
45 minutes.
Portugal dan Spanyol masih lagi buntu mencari jaringan terikat keputusan 0-0 di separuh masa pertama bagi perlawanan pusingan 16 terbaik. Nantikan analisis di Grandstand selepas ini.
Baik, cok keeper. Tai. Salah. Aku mau nak buat benda ni semua.
Pilih tanpa hati, pilih yang stabil, pilih variasi, pilih ekstra tak bayar lebih, pilih nilai, pilih lancar, pilih mudah, pilih apa kita mahu untuk keluarga. Yeah. Pilih Universe. Pilih Universe. Yeah. Pilih semua dalam satu. Pilih Universe.
Kenapa luasnya rangkaian kami amat bermakna untuk anda? Supaya lukisan robot 10 cm mampu berdiri gah 10 kaki. 12 saat gelap tawa mampu dikongsi sejauh 12 juta meter. Satu klik mampu jimatkan 60,000 minit yang berharga. Dan semestinya, kami pastikan soalan cepu mas ini dijawab dengan pantas. Bila kami berkhidmat untuk 2/3 rakyat Malaysia, tanggungjawab ini sangat kami hargai. Kerana lebih 20 juta daripada anda adalah nadi rangkaian kami. Sebab itu, ia amat bermakna. Celcom DJ, rangkaian lebih luas, lebih pantas dan dilindungi di Malaysia.
So who we playing?
Local crew. They're legit. They play winner go home. This crew hasn't gone home in 30 years.
Who's up next?
The times changed, the results didn't.
For real?
I know. Hard to believe, right?
Who's up next?
Bangkitkan semua deria, nikmatinya keindahan dunia.
Kocak je senang. Apa aku buat? Astaghfirullahalazim. Bodoh. Delete dah. Biasa. Sikit-sikit.
Tapi, dengan lebih 50,000 restoran melalui satu klik, dunia penuh kelazatan menanti anda walaupun anda melekat di sofa. Hidup penuh nikmat.
Food Panda.
Maggi Shock Shoyu daging kau baharu. Lebih shoyu, lebih pekat. Jom rasa shock.
Goes to Messi, shoots. Oh, hits the post.
Come on, it's so easy, man.
张华俊，慢慢。
Messi, great turn. He looks forward. Messi beats man. Messi, still Messi, shoots. Goal! Leo Messi! This is football!
张华俊，Just watching. Play the football.
Konami.
Mama kami sudah pulang, mana janjinya? Jujur ada yang enak.
Anak-anakku yang pintar ini mama buatkan. Jujur ada yang enak.
Dari jaringan di separuh masa yang pertama, dan untuk separuh masa yang pertama ini di match yang ke-93 setakat ini dengan keputusan 0-0 bersama dengan saya Zulkifli untuk perlawanan yang ke-93 di peringkat 16 terbaik. Dan selepas ini juga bagaimana perjalanan mereka untuk meneruskan di suku akhir, sama ada menanti mereka adalah USA ataupun pada hari ini kita akan dapat saksikan bagaimana Belgium juga menanti mereka untuk perlawanan yang seterusnya. Okey, dan untuk anda sebelum kita ke perbincangan di Grandstand, untuk pengguna-pengguna TM Enjoyy Piala Dunia FIFA 2026 kini di Enjoyy TV. Jadi kehangatan perlawanan kian terasa untuk saksikan aksi-aksi Piala Dunia FIFA musim ini secara langsung dalam HD. Jadi nikmati liputan penuh menerusi 3 saluran khas Piala Dunia dengan ciri multi view, rewind dan juga catch up TV. Jangan terlepas walau 1 detik hanya di Enjoyy TV, dapatkan pas musim serendah RM50 sekarang. Jadi untuk anda juga pengguna-pengguna Celcom Digi, tonton aksi bola sepak di skrin lebih besar dengan TV Samsung serta soundbar percuma daripada RM17 sebulan. Rasai pengalaman juga di stadium seperti di rumah dengan Celcom Digi. Jadi untuk anda juga sepanjang Celcom ini ataupun di Piala Dunia 2026 ini, dan juga untuk anda daftar ataupun naik taraf ke U Mobile Ultra Prepaid ataupun Ultra Postpaid ataupun U Home 5G sekarang untuk sertai Pesta Bola Ultra. U Mobile committed untuk menghubungkan anda kepada setiap gol, aksi dan juga detik yang tiada tandingan sepanjang kejohanan ini berlangsung. Okey, jadi itu sikit sebanyak apa yang kita perhatikan untuk kesemua sekali 104 perlawanan, dan kita dah pun masuk ke perlawanan yang ke-93, mengharungi bulan yang panjang, perlawanan yang panjang 39 hari. Jadi untuk hari ini kita bersama semula KM ataupun Karim Mohamed dan juga Wan Rahimi pada hari ini untuk pertandingan ataupun pusingan 16 terbaik Portugal dan juga Spain ataupun Spanyol pada hari ini. Aksi tadi kita tengok dengan telahan awal 1-0, 1 untuk Spain. Okey, 1 untuk Spain. Betul. Dan juga 0 untuk Portugal. Tapi kita tengok pada pagi ini nampaknya tiada jaringan di separuh masa pertama. Bagaimana sebenarnya perlawanan di separuh masa pertama yang berlaku sebelum kita ke grandstand tadi?
Ya, untuk perlawanan pada hari ini,
secara keseluruhan untuk separuh masa pertama kita menjangkakan Spain akan menguasai permainan. Tetapi Portugal menunjukkan aksi yang cukup bertenaga. Mereka meletakkan pasukan mereka di hadapan sedikit, membuat pressing di bahagian hadapan. Itu menyukarkan pemain pemain Spain untuk keluar daripada tekanan yang diberikan oleh Portugal, dan agak seimbang antara kedua-dua pasukan. Penguasaan bola yang silih bergilir ganti. Sekejap pasukan Portugal dan pasukan Spain tukar hantaran, tapi ya kelebihan dimiliki oleh pasukan Spain di mana percubaan yang mereka lakukan lebih berbahaya daripada pasukan Portugal.
Okey, Warahmi, kita tengok sambil kita perhatikan juga highlight untuk mereka yang terlepas untuk menyaksikan kami di separuh masa pertama juga. Untuk pagi ni kita tengok Portugal dan juga Spain, peluang mereka dan juga bagaimana hari ini kita tengok tiada gol awal seperti di perlawanan-perlawanan mereka yang sebelum ini. Peluang untuk mereka selepas ini juga di separuh masa yang kedua.
Apa yang saya nampak, kedua-dua pasukan agak berhati-hati dan kita nampak sistem ketika mereka bertahan amat ampuh dan tidak terlampau terdedah kepada bahaya. Itu membuatkan kedua-dua pasukan jarang mencipta peluang untuk menjadikan gol. Hanya 3 kali bagi Spain dan 2 kali bagi Sepanyol. Dan saya harap di second half mereka lebih mengambil risiko untuk ke depan, untuk mencipta peluang perlu mengambil risiko.
Okey, kita tengok KM pada hari ini separuh masa pertama berakhir dengan jaringan, tapi corak permainan adakah jelas memihak kepada Sepanyol berbanding dengan Portugal, ataupun Portugal sama saja seperti kita tengok peratusan pun tak jauh beza sebenarnya possession ball setakat separuh masa pertama.
Ya, seperti yang saya katakan tadi, permainan agak seimbang. Tapi mungkin ada sedikit kelebihan yang dimiliki oleh pasukan Spain, di mana mereka ada ketika mereka menguasai bola lebih lama sikit berbanding pasukan Portugal. Tetapi saya agak surprise dengan pasukan Portugal, di mana mereka bermain dengan boleh dikatakan bergerak sebagai satu unit. Mereka bermain secara berpasukan kali ini. Mereka menunjukkan satu intensiti yang berbeza di perlawanan-perlawanan yang lepas, dan ya walaupun mereka menekan di bahagian atas, tapi ada ketika pasukan Spain mereka mencuri sedikit ruang yang ditinggalkan oleh pertahanan pasukan Portugal ini, dan ada satu ruang terbuka oleh Oyarzabal yang hampir-hampir menghukum mereka, tetapi malangnya Oyarzabal mensia-siakan peluang yang terhidang itu.
Rugi sebenarnya.
Ya, betul.
Memang one to one sebenarnya kan.
Betul, dengan kelebihan kaki kiri, kaki dominan beliau, keeper sudah pun tertewas. Ini satu kerugian yang besar.
Okey, kita nak pergi kepada apa yang berlaku sebenarnya pada minit awal untuk pasukan daripada Sepanyol hari ini. Kita tengok pada hari ini bagaimana Alex Sebena sendiri di minit yang ke-16 iaitu shot on target untuk pasukan Sepanyol. Jadi kita tengok apa yang berlaku untuk Wan Nurhaimi. Mungkin anda boleh perhalusi apa yang berlaku pada minit ke-16 ni.
Ini bermula daripada gerakan daripada Rami Yamal yang mana kita tahu trademark dia
Diego Costa cuy
dan curve ke far post. Tetapi bola tampanan pertama daripada Diego Costa terus melantun kepada Alex Bena, dan Alex Bena curving shot yang cukup mantap ke penjuru, tetapi world class save bagi daripada Diego Costa menyelamatkan pintu gol Portugal, double save.
Okey, jadi itu yang berlaku di minit yang ke-16. Mungkin yang mencari-cari CR7. Okey, untuk anda yang menyaksikan di minit yang ke-37 juga bagaimana Portugal pada hari ini bagaimana cross, dan juga pada hari ini juga sentuhan Ronaldo sendiri, bagaimana Simon aksi beliau untuk mengganggu ataupun menghalang gol awal macam mana?
Ya, memang satu assist yang cukup baik walaupun crossing yang dihantar kepada Joao Felix, dan beliau membuat satu tandukan yang untuk set kepada Ronaldo, dan ya pada saya posisi yang agak sukar untuk Ronaldo melepaskan rembatan ataupun melakukan percubaan, dan itu saja yang beliau mampu lakukan dengan cuba meletakkan bola di dalam gol. Tetapi ya sudah pasti ini adalah satu percubaan yang agak perlahan, dan itu memudahkan Simon untuk menangkap. Pada saya itu satu percubaan yang kurang berbahaya berbanding dengan Nuno Mendes tadi.
Okey, kita nak saksikan separuh masa yang kedua untuk perlawanan. Saksikan.
Go and put themselves in pole position.
Well, that search for the opening goal goes on from the start of the second half. And here's Oyarzabal. He'll be still ruining that first half chance that got away from him, but he knows he's got the capacity to still win the game. On the counter-attack is Pedro Neto, speeding up the match again, as he loves to do. His teammates gradually getting up with him.
Just because he chops back there, Pedro Neto, the chance goes away, and that's a poor ball from Bruno Fernandes in the end. Comes to nothing. I think Pedro Neto keep going. He's got Aymeric Laporte, he's backing him up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. I think both teams have got to be a little braver in the last third.
Yes, it's not exactly risk averse, but no one's taking too many, are they?
No, not enough, I don't think. Just looking at the options available to both coaches, Roberto Martinez really does have some strong options forward-wise, attacking-wise on that bench with Rafa Leao and Gonzalo Ramos, Trincao, etc. These are very gifted players.
Here's Ruben Diaz. Joe Neto chopping back infield again. And now maybe trying to get up the outside. He'll get a throw out of this. No, he won't. Spain, it's their 17th World Cup, going back when we're looking at the history of the competition. 13th in a row. Been sturdy competitors, culminating in that success in South Africa back in 2010, where they beat Portugal in the round of 16 in Cape Town, 1-0. Could be a 1-0 here. Could be either way.
Made the most of that Ronaldo there, really. I don't think there's that much contact with Dani Olmo. The ball just got away. Look, yeah, that reaction says it all. But Anthony Taylor gives the free kick, and another chance.
That's the big Spanish fan, the actor Javier Bardem. Very well known in his home country as an actor and producer as well. Famous fan for the Spain brigade here. Again, it's catching practice. Unai Simon, but Portugal win it back again. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Spain are caught a little bit out of shape. And then neither one thing or the other from João Cancelo.
A good situation they're in once more, Portugal, but without anything significant on target.
Trying to edge Portugal into a press they don't really want to do, you feel. Dani Olmo, in periods of the first half, found a lot of space. Oh, he played a risky back pass then. Olmo goes across, helps out Cucurella. There's Pedri on the charge. Lamine Yamal. Nuno Mendes responds. So there are individual battles going on all over the pitch, particularly in the wide areas.
Yeah, strong there, wasn't he? Nuno Mendes stood up and he had the back in and probably knew exactly where Renato Vega was behind him. Stayed on his feet nicely, timely interception.
Longer ball from Ruben Diaz, Cucurella underneath it. Anthony Taylor's refereed Mark Cucurella many, many times. Vitinha came back. And now here is Pedro Neto. Cucurella miles out of position. Pedro Neto across. And, well, it wasn't the worst ball because it's gone out for a throw.
Yeah, Alex Spian is lucky there because he's the one that gives the ball away. And Cucurella, look on the left of the screen, has gone past him. Now, all of a sudden, Pedro Neto has got the ball absolutely where he wants it. Decides to go rightly on the outside, but the ball in is neither one thing nor the other. It's a bit too quick along the floor. He could have stood it up a little bit and give Ronaldo a chance to put his head on it, but quality wasn't quite there.
Here is Baena. Now Dani Olmo. Who goes again? Nuno Mendes didn't have to get out of third gear, really. Tall, elegant player, the Spain number 10, but he's not absolutely going to outrun you. Christian Vieri, that
yes,
is,
that is.
Yeah.
Christian Vieri it is. What a left foot he had.
Of Italy, and of course very much Australia as well. Good to see him here. This is what Olmo is good at, finding space.
Yes.
Keeping the game ticking over, giving Lamine Yamal a chance really to give problems to Nuno Mendes, who's still on the ground and maybe hurt.
That's the first time Lamine Yamal has set him up and really sprinted beyond him. Nuno Mendes on that occasion was struggling to keep up. Again, on the other side, Alex Baena has got to get in the box. They've got to have more presence in the area, Spain. There are times when people are making good runs, getting into good situations, not enough people in that box.
Nuno Mendes was only bruised in the area of pride rather than any actual physical injuries. Up on his feet, and Spain maybe look to work that side again. Cucurella. Baena. Rodri. Hub of the side. Kubasi. It's all a little bit tight between the men on the right, Pedro Porro and Lamine Yamal, and Portugal trying to exploit some space behind them. Ronaldo. Still going. Very fair challenge.
Yeah, good challenge. Nuno Mendes is down, Martin. He's down.
Yeah, maybe it was more than pride. Yeah.
That's a big problem for Portugal, that is, because he is a significant part of what they've got going forward and making sure he gets back, but that sort of look on his face suggests that his race is run.
He's the player who's had most touches in the game for Portugal.
Sort of lunged in, didn't he, because Lamine Yamal had stolen a yard from him. Sort of look about, Martin, when you stretch like that, it can be a hamstring, it could be anything, but they're not signalling to the bench yet, are they? That they need
they've
to
got
change.
Diogo Dalot, who can play right back or left back. Nelson Semedo. You can say the same thing about him as well. So they're not short of cover, but he is very much the main man. Messages going back to the bench. We're not seeing as a big screen Emmitt Smith, the former Dallas Cowboy, superstar in the NFL world. Austin McPhee with the long hair is organising the change, which does see Nelson Semedo
being summoned
into the match. It's a toss of a coin match, isn't it, really?
It is, it is. This is the first enforced change, really. Does that give Lamine Yamal, I don't know, a little bit more hope? I mean, now you've got a right-footed left-back, so when Lamine steps inside on his left foot, he's going into Semedo's strength a little bit. But I've said before about when you come on as a sub, sometimes it's not quite so easy to pick it up, the pace of the game and the intensity of it.
One thing that Spain will be glad of will be that we'll talk about Lamine Yamal, whether he'll beat Semedo or not, but Nuno Mendes won't be galloping into Spanish territory down the left-hand side, which he loves to do and has done successfully against him before. Semedo's quick, but he's not quite that kind of...
No. He's not as dynamic.
Up and at him, is it?
No,
that's the word.
Yeah.
What a great word, Andy. Dynamic, yeah. As Porro is pretty dynamic himself. It's not simply Bernardo Silva we got a glimpse of then. Hasn't been able to get himself regularly into the team. Making a move, he was going to go to Atletico Madrid, all the forms were signed and everything, and the plane was there, and then the plane took him to Real Madrid instead. It was a very late approach, but a successful one. So Semedo plays in Turkey now, having left Wolverhampton Wanderers in English football where he had 5 years. Was at Barcelona before that. Good pedigree, good player. Ronaldo, a good yard offside, I would say.
And the flag went up straight away.
Pedri's ball for Dani Olmo.
I think, Martin, it's the sort of game, we haven't got one player out there that's really on top of his game. I think we've got a lot that are playing very steady and playing very well. We don't have anybody really sparkling, absolutely.
Well, certainly in an attacking sense, yeah. Defenders are dominating, whether they're being challenged enough. I think Andy's got a good point, but here's Baena had a good shot in the first half. Dani Olmo just trying to roll in behind the Portuguese defence. A little bit of extra acceleration from Bruno Fernandes. Now he is a player in an attacking sense who would be feeling he contribute more to Portugal's chances of winning, not because he's not been involved in the game, but it's not been a game to suit his particular talents. But his particular talents can win a game like this, that's for sure. Here's João Neves. João Felix. Ronaldo, can he reach it? Only tentatively. Small margins.
Yeah, all good one. It's the right idea from João Felix. He makes a nice run, Ronaldo, but he's having to wait for it, sort of hanging in the air a little bit, trying to adjust his feet.
And put pace into it,
yeah,
which
and
is
get
difficult.
something significant on it, Martin, and he couldn't do either, really.
Breaks the way of Marc Cucurella. Pedri and Rodri. Since that shot from Alex Baena in the 16th minute, it's their last shot on target, Spain. So although they're in a way catching the eye, they're flattering in that respect. They did let go forward a lot in the first half. He's not done quite so much in the second, and maybe had quite so much controlled possession. Here he is again, the young man. To another young man. Not 19 until next week.
Really good work, João Felix there. He's back on top of his fullback, who's just come on, Nelson Semedo. He intercepts that pass from Lamine and then hits the floor, having just got tripped, and that's good work.
Pedro Neto's just towed it into Spain's path. Pedri!
There's a chance. That's a great situation. Yeah, poor giveaway from a Portugal perspective. It looks like Renato Vega's got a little touch on that. Dani Olmo heads up, finds Pedri on the edge of the box, exactly where you want to be as a central midfielder. People flying out at him, a little deflection, but another Spanish corner.
And now gone. Spain looking to open the scoring here. Vitinha could have got it further away than that. And that's led to another corner. As Lamine Yamal, who was poised on the edge of the area, suddenly came onto it. There you have it. And the goalkeeper has it as well. In fact, with a bit of physical contact on him, he probably would have got a foul, but he's clung onto the ball expertly.
Yeah, very nice work. Diogo Costa there. It's exactly what you want. The ball's up there. If it's hanging a little bit, can your goalkeeper come and claim it? And he did that perfectly.
Signed a new contract with Porto recently,
Costa
but they
perform,
lowered
guys.
the buyout clause, which suggests that there might be a move in the offing. It's a very nice switch of play to João Cancelo. He's kept on running into the middle. He's capable of getting a goal himself. Played in other positions as well as fullback. Dani Olmo lost his bearings, lost the ball. Now Vitinha. Bruno just caught by Pedri. No malicious intent, and none taken. Cancelo. Vitinha. Now Pedro Neto setting off, wanting it back, maybe not wanting it back, but it was coming back.
Yeah, João Cancelo tried to return the ball to Pedro Neto.
Not sure there was a
it wasn't
pathway for it.
No, it was always a bit ambitious, that one.
Yeah. Well, we're looking at really fine margins here, Andy, aren't we?
And the bench.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bench. I think soon we'll start to see some changes. And neither coach really wants to show their hand first. And when I say changes, Mike, I mean attack-minded changes. Changes with intent to make the difference, not just to fill a gap or replace someone who's struggling a little bit. I'm talking about a change that can just give us a different look about what we're witnessing.
Nicely done by Pedri. They could play tiki-taka with him in the team, couldn't they? But
absolutely.
A different approach from Luis de la Fuentes. So everyone really holding their breath in the ground, waiting for a decisive moment, because there has to be one. Got there first, and he can go again on the outside, but Lamine Yamal through the middle looks the opposite flank. Now it's Spian. Cancelo trying to get it away, didn't get it away. It was angling across.
Yeah, no real sting in the shot.
Spian.
Alex Spian there. Comfortable stop, that is. Just for a moment then, when Lamine Yamal switched that ball from left to right, it looked like something might happen, but again, fizzled out a little too quickly.
20 minutes played in the second half. Still no real clue as to which way it's going to go. But I think plenty of clues that it's going to be narrow. Porro has got there and no one attacking it. So that's where we are lacking goals. If no one, he's looking at it thinking.
Spian.
Cucurella llikes to get into goal scoring positions. The opposite fullback, he's just standing and just see him on the edge of your picture.
Got to get people in there. Danny Olmo turns around to his teammates and says, "Come on, guys, where are we?"
Yeah.
Got to get in the box. You've just got one in there, then the delivery's got to be inch perfect. Got to have others trying to get in there, and you've really got to battle to get in there, Martin. You've got to put your foot to the floor to try and sprint past your opposite man. You're not just going to glide in there and roll something in the back of the net. You've got to sprint.
Taylor.
Gila. Alamak.
Pretty consistent on players going to ground what he believes is cheaply. Spain fans had their different view on that one.
Ronaldo.
Everybody working so hard off the ball. Makes it so difficult for the team with the ball to make the opening, which would be so precious. Bassi. Pedro Porro. Correa. Possession for Spain. Diana's run.
Baik.
It's a bit different.
Bahaya Spian tengah serang.
Positioning.
Aduh. Miss pula lah.
Change up as we go to the break.
Kenapa ni? Oh, break.
I like that from Bayern to come in centrally to.
Bola kan ada break ni. Lama tak ada bola ke?
Martin, when he's been in good positions, his selection from that area of the field hasn't been good enough. But
well, as they might say in these parts, there's more than
Ronaldo
to catch a steer. Get the lasso out and try and bring an opponent out of the game.
Must be thinking about a change any minute now, I think, to the forward areas of his team. You can just see him running through a few things there with Austin McPhee, who's their set-piece coach. He works at Aston Villa in the English Premier League, but...
And with Scotland, I thought he worked with Scotland, but he doesn't.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't. No. He's Scottish, isn't he? Yeah.
He is.
Holding his audience with De La Fuentes.
I would imagine both coaches are just trying to implore their team to just be that little bit more dynamic around the edge of the box. What happens? Look, I've watched many games.
Management. This is not the era of going home where we played well, you know. There are going to be certainly a change for Portugal. Rafael Leao
and Diogo Dalot by the looks, Martin.
Haven't seen quite who's come off yet. They are the two. João Cancelo is off. And João Felix as well.
Felix kau siapa?
Well, Diogo Dalot is an experienced player, right back or left back, probably could play central midfield, but he offers a bit of option for Portugal defensively. And Leao is, well, you never know.
No, you don't. I like him. I really like Rafael. I think he's got that ability to produce something a little different, and that's what this game needs. It's what it feels like is going to settle this contest, is someone producing something a bit special. Now, he can do that.
It's a foul on Lamine Yamal on the edge of the area.
Those eyes looking at Anthony Taylor as if to say, you're going to show him a card.
Is Semedo the substitute? And you said earlier about how it isn't easy to settle in. He's had a few minutes now, but he still doesn't look super settled.
No, and I think Lamine Yamal will fancy his chances on a more consistent basis against Nelson Semedo. There's a committee meeting round the ball.
But let's leave it to the kid. That's what the other Spain players were thinking. He has stardust in those boots. And it's a game that needs some stardust. And
Who are you?
He's dipping, whipping, and needed saving.
Certainly did.
Didn't
he? Straight out the goalkeeper. And Diego Costa just raises his right arm, tips it over, takes no chances with it, but powerful strike.
Spain corner. Goalkeeper has to reach for it again. And Semedo says, let's get it upfield. There's activity in the Spain dugout as well.
Often the case, Martin. As soon as one coach makes a couple of changes, then there's usually a response.
Ferran Torres is a good favourite of De La Fuente's. He's another one that he's had since a kid, since a youngster. And he thinks, actually said publicly, he doesn't quite get Ferran Torres the acclaim that he deserves because he's such a modest, nice guy, the player. He doesn't seek publicity. And he won't be the most famous number 7 on this pitch, will he?
No. But he can nick a goal, can't he, Ferran Torres? You know, he can finish.
24 goals in 61 caps.
Wait, by you.
There's a break on here. Is there a finish this time?
Look. Nice.
Getting further and further forward with Lamine Yamal.
I just think I'm expecting him to take those boys on in the box there. He's got them all back pedaling towards and in their own box, but
Dalot's made a good run here.
Aduh.
Didn't get the throw. There's a bit to do to get your hands on the real one for either of these countries. Here is Ferran Torres. Famously scored a hat-trick against Germany. This takes a bit of doing. That's 5 years ago now. Here's Leao, so the substitutes trying to get here.
Oi, wait.
Ronaldo. Coutinho. Bruno Fernandes knew what was on. He knew if he got a good connection. He was within range even from an awkward angle.
Yeah, he certainly did. He did really well actually to get his body in just to bump Cucurella out the way. And that gave him the space to take the shot with his right foot. Hits it sweet enough, but it's always a couple of yards wide. But that's better from Portugal, that.
Well, the clock ticks on. But if you're going to get the goal to win it, the later the better. We'll be able to see it through. Here's Dani Olmo. Pedri. Square passes. Correa waiting out on the left. Yamal on the right. Kubasi. Pedri. Dani almost set off. I'm sure they were to spin and swivel to get a pass through to him. It didn't come. Pedri's kept the ball. Not wasting possession in the search for an opening. And Ferran Torres with the kind of run that could decide the game.
Yeah. Just skipped off the surface and got away from Ferran Torres there. Yeah, and in that kind of slower build-up, which Spain are guilty of a little bit at times, just gives Portugal a better chance to get set, get in a good position, get blocked and pick those runners off a little bit. When Lamine Yamal gets it, in fairness to him, there's a bit of speed in their attacking play, but he hasn't been able to find the final ball yet to give someone a real gilt-edged chance.
Ronaldo.
Kubasi. Correa's has picked himself up again and he's on the ball and surprisingly got rid of it, but then he's fooled us all because he's made a run behind off the ball. Oh, here's Dani Olmo. Can he find the shot? Well, I think it was a decent shot.
GG defend.
The block was there.
What a block, Ruben Dias. Brilliant work.
Baiklah block
Nelson
Ruben Dias.
Semedo goes to ground to try and block. But the big centre half is behind his teammate and stretches a leg brilliantly to block it.
That confirmation on the huge screen here, 70,649 today's attendance. Spain's corner. Oh, it's not dealt with particularly well by Diogo Costa, and that could cost him.
Right,
He came out and punched well, but Spain have got it back again. It's a lovely ball. Lamine Yamal. Torres. He's suddenly finding a position or two. They're asking for handball here.
You know, and Emerick Laporte was in that position where this ball ends up. That's interesting to see whether that does touch Renato Viega's arm. Let's have a look from this. Kind of went underneath his arm almost, didn't it? Might have brushed the side of his chest.
That's what they were asking for. But Ferran Torres has now given them a point in their attack.
Yes, he has. Yep.
Bahaya tu.
Here is Lamine Yamal, who's always sharp in his work. As with the corner, glanced away, and it was handball. Easier one to give, that. I don't think the other one was even checked, was it, with the player sliding to the ground. And Rodri was caught out. We're going to see Bernardo Silva and Francisco Conceição. His dad played for Portugal in a World Cup 20 years ago.
Question mark is how long Roberto Martinez wants to give Cristiano Ronaldo. Look, the ultimate goal scorer, yes.
And the penalty taker, of course.
Yeah, that's a long way to go.
It's a long, long way to go. Ferran Torres, the De La Fuente's favourite, is doing well for a cross. And here's Ronaldo. Playing safe. Bruno Fernandes was possibly on a difficult ball and probably would have been given away, which is the sensible approach from the senior citizen on the pitch and in the tournament. Here's Rafael doing his thing. There's a deflection on the cross.
Great pace.
He's been with AC Milan for a long time, but there is talk that he'll be moving on this summer.
Showed real pace there and a determination, didn't he, to try and get beyond Pedro Porro, but just didn't make decent contact with the cross.
Rodri. Oyarzabal. Lamine Yamal. Oyarzabal, not quite sure what he was trying to do. Wasn't a white shirt in front of him.
Nice.
Here's Leao.
Boom.
Good spot by Bruno Fernandes to get ahead of the winger. They couldn't switch the play. Well, here come the latest Portugal changes. They will be the last ones unless we go to extra time. Pedro Neto is off. And Sergio Conceição, who is very similar in a sense, he's a left-footed right winger. Also left-footed is Bernardo Silva, who has come up with this extraordinary move away from Manchester City, where he's been almost a perfect player. And he's coming on for Coutinho. So off we go. Well, that's not going to be a corner. It's the free kick anyway. Then Mikel Merino, a very versatile character, trying to enter the fray for Spain.
Spain, Portugal, tukar player.
And someone who can pinch a goal, Martin, more importantly. Mikel Merino's good in any wide free kicks or corners that are coming in. Can often get on the end of something in the box.
Just checking the 5 substitutes that have been used by Portugal, which means, unless we go to extra time, Cristiano Ronaldo will play the 90 minutes.
It's Fabian Ruiz as well, by the looks.
Gifted player. Another of the PSG contingent. Ferran Torres. Stepping in was Bernardo Silva. Given so much pleasure to the Premier League as a player, of course, but as a person as well. Man of great integrity. Coming off was Pedri. And Dani Olmo.
It's a big call taking Dani Olmo off, because he's one of those guys that, you know, can get himself into a nice position around the edge of the box. However, his work is done. There's an opportunity now for Fabian Ruiz and Mikel Merino.
Here's Lamine Yamal, trying to find some space to run into.
Great run, son. Great run.
Oyarzabal. Lamine Yamal again, appreciative of space on this near side. Fabian Ruiz, deflected awkwardly for the goalkeeper, but he made it his.
I do think in a minute, Martin, Lamine Yamal will go on his own. I really do. I mean, brilliant run there. Again, he looks up and he tries to switch it out to the opposite side of the field. If he can, I'd love to see him try and do it on his own, because I think he can get into a shooting position himself.
Nampak banyak Spain tu banyak attack, buat attack. Main Portugal
Mark Laporte.
Tapi defend Portugal ni paling padu.
Cucurella. They kept their starting back four together, Spain, which they've had to change theirs because of an injury. Kabasi. USA or Belgium await the winners, but who will be the winners? It remains a mystery here in Dallas. Trying to force Unai Simon into a misjudgment. Back by Semedo, and in Spain's way though. I think when Spain get into these sort of positions, they do look the more dangerous team. Mikel Merino, he too has a hat-trick in international football to his name. He's only been really a makeshift striker. Lamine Yamal. Ferran Torres. Again, it's thoughtful play.
Yeah, but you're in the box, Martin.
Yeah.
It's thought there, Ferran Torres. I think he could have hit one with his left foot.
Yeah.
And then eventually he kind of just turned that opportunity down. And it's one pass too many.
Here's Ruben Dias. He's used to winning trophies. He's won 11 with Manchester City.
Oh, you.
Now, it's behind Conceição. Anthony Taylor's tried to understand the fixture, I think, but there comes a time.
Bernardo Silva,
It's Bernardo Silva who gets the card, because he's the one who goes. I mean, that really isn't a sensible challenge, that, because look, there's no point in complaining. It's a definite yellow card challenge. His foot is high, and that's silly, because you need his energy to get close to people and to stop people from playing and picking passes, and that means now he's got to be ultra careful.
And finally, Anthony Taylor has produced the yellow card. I think his personality and his experiences control the fixture very well. A game that could easily develop into a lot of needle. And Ronaldo trying to sneak in here. I'm sure the flag would have gone up.
Yeah, was in an offside position, actually, in fairness.
Ambil apa 9 tu. Kocak.
Pedro Porro.
Ya Allah, Spain banyak attack tu, kambing.
Ferran Torres is in the middle.
Yamal cacat rezeki pula. Lemak.
Silva giving away those free kicks. You take him, we're into the 6 added minutes before extra time.
Wih!
We might not need extra time.
Astaghfirullahalazim.
It's brilliantly
apa benda tu?
Mikel Merino.
Apa Spian goal last minute
In
kocak.
emergencies, you can stick the midfield man.
Ya Allah.
Well, that's what he does.
Hey.
And the later you get in front
Bingai,
of the game like
bingai.
this, the better it is. And this is pretty late, Andy Townsend.
Oh, it's very late.
Asal minute last goal.
This guy came on, I said that he's got a knack, he's got a habit, Mikel Merino, of scoring big goals. We saw him doing it for his club team Arsenal this season on a number of occasions. This quick free kick is taken by him actually. That's the goal scorer. Now watch him drifting forward, times his run perfectly. Too wide, the central defenders too far apart. And he's right between them. And with that left foot, he touched that brilliantly, coolly, past the goalkeeper. And that is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting a long time for a team to create something significant. Well, Spain have just found it.
Well, it's more and more the way in football, leading to the substitutes. Mikel Merino's manager, Mikel Arteta, calls them finishers, not substitutes.
Merino goal tu.
Some players start and some come on.
Apa nak minit tambahan
and
dah
he may well have wrapped up a win for his country here.
Ay, ya Allah.
That is the 50th goal by a substitute in this World Cup. That's
how important they are.
Yeah, we've had around 260, I think.
Well,
ya Allah, tak tahu nak cakap apa.
270th.
Yeah, the clock is officially ticking away. So Portugal are going to have to serve this ball forward at every opportunity now.
Here's Ferran Torres. Can't get away.
Sticker. Cepat. Bodoh. Gol lagi satu. Portugal.
Well, it's a red flag for the team in red now. They have to find
Ada main long ball pula dah.
a place still in the World Cup to extend the glittering World Cup career of their captain and iconic figure Cristiano Ronaldo, to extend the tenure of Roberto Martinez in the job. So there's desperation in their minds, but there's got to be calmness with their feet.
Defend tak tahu lah Portugal ni. Itulah tu. Hey, siapa kena kat kuning?
Great play that from Lamine Yamal.
Ay, dia ni kat kena kuning pula dah.
Good ball carriers to catch you up, take you up the field, and Renato Vega there.
Spain banyak buat attack tu daripada Portugal.
Excellent work.
Aduh, ya Allah, 8 minit lagi tu.
He's
lagu satu pecah. Bocor. Even Portugal buat apa tak tahu. Aduh, Enzo macam mana Enzo? Tak dapat Ronaldo lagi tu. Astagfirullahaladzim. Skor satu lagi, please.
But it's not done yet. In by Semedo.
Skor. Kocak. Ronaldo. Jauh sangat lah tu.
Out of play, Leao will keep it alive. They have to score to keep themselves alive in this wonderful tournament. Semedo.
Ya Allah.
Here's Ruben Diaz.
Sekolah, ya Allah.
We get him in the middle if the cross comes in. He should be going there now, but others are in there. Kubasi, cushioned header.
No, Portugal, cool.
Ruiz.
Tidak.
It's really the last knockings. Well onside was
Portugal.
on the big screen in the stadium. They're showing the graphic of that. And the fans, Portuguese fans who might have felt shortchanged by that. Here's
minit lagi tu. Habis lah.
They're nearly there. in the last minute. Andy Townsend, do you feel that they are deservedly shading this?
Well, look, I said there was never going to be much in this game, Martin. I think what we've witnessed with our eyes suggests that. But
tukar player
it's
pula
just
dah.
about a moment. These big moments separate these sort of teams in these sort of games, and you just hope it's your team that grabs it. Spain have got it, and Portugal have literally got seconds left now if they want to stay in this competition.
Tak nak.
It's got to come in the box. It's got to go in.
And it does. Well, it doesn't. It goes wide to Conceição. It's a decent ball in.
Good. Aye.
Well. Bernardo Silva. Being taken out of the complaints in his own clubmates. That is
ya Allah.
Yeah, maybe if it'd been
Masuk pula
anybody else,
dah.
a little bit taller, look, can just get above that, climb a little bit higher, and might have been able to pop that in the net.
GG ya Portugal.
Spain have still got one change. The tall striker Bruno Iglesias, who's on for Oyarzabal. He's surely not going to get a touch of the ball. No, we had it in the last game here, didn't we? Where it would have been a winning goal. This would have been an equalising one. He does get a touch, Iglesias. Eyes on Anthony Taylor. He lets Portugal play on. Vega. Bernardo Silva.
Pass.
No, the final whistle hasn't gone. Some of the Spain players were holding up their hands in celebration. Conceição.
One last chance.
It is a foul.
One last chance here. Get
Ya Allah,
everybody in that
menang, ya
box.
Allah.
Ferran Torres is deemed, I think, the major culprit.
Gila Ferran Torres.
That's the yellow card. So Diogo Costa heads upfield. Can he head the ball?
Ya Allah.
Don't run offside. You've got to make sure you stay onside here. And the delivery has got to beat Marco
Please,
Correa, who's
Portugal,
at the front of
menanglah
that
kali
Spanish
ni.
queue on the edge of the box.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
In the World Cup.
Ay!
And they're out. Spain are through. The derby
GG kalah, cok.
in Dallas with this Iberian flavour has gone the way of the bigger nation. And
Australia,
Miguel
Portugal.
Marino stepped from the bench into the spotlight with a splendidly taken goal in a match of very few chances. But the champions of Europe are still alive in the World Cup by the narrowest of margins. Yet another late goal. And it's Portugal.
Tidak, Ronaldo.
Spain won the end of the road for the great Ronaldo. We're all sorry to see him go, as Spain stride on. For all their fans, famous and those who have just made special journeys here. The Baca team that's had a lot of success over the last 20 years or so, a nation. And Miguel Marino puts them on the march again, Andy Townsend.
He certainly does. Great finish, great goal. Look, last night the Mexico-England game had everything. Just, it was breathtaking to watch at times. This was much more typical of a last 16 game in a World Cup. Much more typical, I think, of it. And it got very tight, a lot of possession-based stuff in the middle of the park. No one really able to come up with that decisive moment until right at the end, Martin. Right at the very end, those changes that we spoke about that could be significant, they were. And it was Spain that managed to grab the chance.
And all credit to De La Fuentes.
Yes.
His boys from the bench did him proud.
They did indeed. You know, the coaches waited and waited until in the end they did make their changes. Lamine Yamal's second half got a little bit more room than he did in the first, but Spain, I don't think, are the most devastating team at the top of the field in the competition. I don't, but they're very competitive because they keep the ball so well. They didn't really, they limited Portugal to just a few chances. At the end there, they had a couple of glimpses with those wide free kicks that were whipped into the box, but it's Spain that march on.
The versatility of the man